This video was recorded live before a canned studio audience. It's Friday Night Movie Reviews, and here they are, Chris and Keith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Keith.
I'm Chris.
And this is Friday Night Movie Reviews. We thank you for being here, joining us tonight as we review another movie that we've watched. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. So tonight, we're going to be talking about a few things. First thing I want to talk about is I've watched a few of our previous videos, Chris, and I've noticed something about myself. If you guys will notice, I'm more of at an angle this time. And one of the reasons why is because I've noticed that in our videos, I move like Batman. I turn and I talk to Chris like this. Hi, I'm Keith. But I move like my spine is fused together. And I found out that, hey, you know what? That's kind of annoying to watch. So I've turned my chair where I am facing him more, so I don't have to turn like that. My spine is not fused together. And I've also noticed something else. I scratch like I've got fleas, and I've seen that's pretty annoying as well. That I scratch like I've got fleas.
I promise he don't have fleas. I feel like we're doing Friday Night Movie reviews of Friday Night Movie Review, the channel. That's kind of what we're going at right now.
Sorry. So anyway, we went and saw this movie on Thursday night of last week, and we didn't actually see it on Friday. So, but don't let the name deceive you. It's still Friday Night Movie Reviews. This movie that we went to see, we really can't say a whole lot about it because it's one of those kinds of movies where if you talk about it too much, you're going to give something away. You're going to spoil something. You're going to ruin the plot for somebody, or just period.
Yep. This is a small independent film. We saw one trailer for it, and that was it. There was no advertisements on TV. I saw no advertisements here on YouTube for the film.
No.
Most people are probably not even aware this movie existed. It probably got overshadowed by the movies that were already out before Labor Day and the ones that came out with this movie.
Right.
And I can tell you honestly that people should not sit on it. Just to kind of give an early kind of nod, like to go see it.
Right. This the movie we went to see is called Slingshot, and it stars Lawrence Fishburne. And if you know him, if you've watched the Amazon show The Boys, you'll recognize one of the actors from there as well.
Yep, he played Frenchie.
Mm-hmm.
And also we have Casey Affleck. He's the younger brother of Ben Affleck.
Right.
And that's your principal cast of the film.
Right.
And you're mostly just going to see the three of them in the film.
Right. So the basic premise of the movie, and like I said, we really just cannot say very much about it because it will give something away. The basic premise of the movie is this. It's set in the future, in Earth's future. It's not in a galaxy far, far away. It's set in Earth's future, and they are sending a ship to Saturn's moon, Titan.
Yep. It's a manned mission.
And the reason it's called Slingshot is because the ship has to go out to Jupiter, and once it hits Jupiter, it's going to use Jupiter's gravity to pull it around the planet and slingshot it. Did you get that from the title? Yeah, slingshot it around Jupiter, and if they got the trajectory right, they'll hit Titan. Now, one of the reasons why we can tell you this because it's not spoiling anything. The reason they're going to Titan is because Titan is one of the only moons out there, planets, or one of the celestial bodies out there that has water. And so there's the possibility that it could sustain life.
Yeah, it's basically like an early version of Earth for the most part. They really kind of followed the science of what was real because the slingshot maneuver is real. That's something that the Apollo 13 astronauts used to get back when they were low on power and their craft had been damaged. So
Right.
that's a real thing, and they applied that to this movie, and they applied what we know about Titan so far. So it's like early atmosphere type deal, how we probably were at one point in our Earth's history. And that's basically the premise of the movie. If we tell you too much more than that, we're really going to be spoiling it for
Really
you.
going to spoil some things for you, but we do want to let you know that this movie does have some violence and profanity in it. It may not be a good idea to take the kids to see. Definitely would not be a good idea to take little kids to see.
It is because it is a slower paced movie.
It's
Yeah,
very slow paced.
so if you have somebody that has a short attention span, like young ones, even if they could put up with the violence and profanity, I still wouldn't recommend it. This is one that you really have to sit and listen to. And it's a
Right.
movie you're trying to figure out. I can't give you that where I refer to it as a tug of war movie where it pulls you in one direction and it pulls you in the other one just when you think you know what's going on. It's that kind of movie.
Right. But the other thing is the other reason you don't want to take the kids to see it is because it deals with it really deals with um, some adult situations, but in like a mental capacity. So you don't want your kids' heads to be messed with. Uh, but yes, it is. It's that kind of movie where we really just can't say too much about it because if we do, then we've spoiled it for you. Um, so, is this movie worth your hard-earned cash? Is it worth the cash or is it trash? Our thoughts on the movie, just me personally, I enjoyed the movie. It was a really great movie, and the acting was very well done, I thought. Um, but like Chris said, it is kind of a slow paced movie. At times, it is slow paced. It's one of those kind of movies where it kind of deals with flashbacks.
Yeah, and that's to help establish the character where he's at mentally, the main character, Casey Affleck's
Right.
character in the
Right.
film.
And it just kind of deals with flashbacks, and you get a lot of your information from that. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was great. Of course, it's one of those. It's what I would refer to as kind of like a niche film, where uh, if you like if you like movies that are different, that are not as mainstream as like the Star Treks or the Star Wars or any of that kind of thing, then you'll really enjoy this movie.
Oh yeah, this is not your classic holiday blockbuster popcorn movie. This is a thinking movie for sure.
And it's definitely a sleeper. I would say this one is a
Oh
sleeper.
yeah, like most people, I put this in the same category. If you've seen the movie Moon with Sam Rockwell, it's in that same category. So if you like the movie Moon and you've seen it, this is one you want to watch.
The uh, the reason I call this movie a sleeper is because I think a lot of people are going to pass it up. I think a lot of people, they haven't heard about it because I mean we only started seeing trailers for it just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you would think with high profile actors being in it that it would get more, notoriety, more promotion, and everything else. But you could tell that since it was a low budget film from a lower budget studio, that they just did not have the funding to put the advertisements out for the film, and it's a
Right.
shame because this one will unfortunately be overshadowed because this is most people want to say, oh, advertising doesn't affect a movie. It does.
It really does. It
Yeah.
really does. And it's going to really affect this movie a lot
It is,
because it didn't get the advertising. I mean, you were saying earlier that you didn't see any
on YouTube. Yeah.
any advertisements on
So
YouTube.
I feel like we're actually doing a service here by
Right.
putting the word out about this
Right.
movie.
Right.
I had mentioned another movie to him that me and him both saw called Sting, which is about a giant spider that it went under the radar. We saw
Yeah.
the advertisement once for it.
Once.
And
Once.
it was a good movie too, and it's amazing where we feel like most of these movies either have to be a blockbuster or you just don't see it anymore.
Right.
It was nice to have one of these again in a theater that's not a blockbuster, that is more of a thinking movie, and it is purely science fiction. I was so proud. It's not set so far in the future that we're so far removed from it. Like, you can see it as a seeable future, like, within 30 to 40 years, somewhere along there, maybe 50 years.
Right.
It really was still close to home. Like, they were still dressing like how we dress now and everything. It wasn't set too far. So if you have like that suspension of disbelief, you're not going to have to do it too much with this film, because the movie is very believable. It's not so high tech that you're sitting there going, okay, this is like Star Trek. It's not. So, but yeah, definitely worth your time to go see if your theater even carries it. I know with this movie, the reason why we saw it on a Thursday was they only had 4 showings of the movie.
Right.
And it was kind of like, it was just more convenient for us to see it then on Friday, especially with it being Labor Day weekend. So if your theater has it, please catch it.
Right.
If not in the theater, catch it when it comes on streaming, just to give it a boost for the studio making good movies. I feel like there's been like kind of a lack of quality, a lack of diversified movies. So it's nice to have that back again. So yeah, please give this movie a chance.
Yeah, like he was saying, and like I said earlier, this movie is definitely not in a galaxy far, far away. So it is something that you could look at and it could be very believable. So look, go and see this movie, because this is a really great film. It's really going to go way under the radar, and it's not going to, I honestly believe that a lot of people are just not going to see the movie.
Yep.
Because it has not gotten the advertising, it has not gotten the notoriety, and I don't know. It's just
it's disheartening, isn't it?
It is disheartening when you go. We were very, very, very pleasantly surprised, because I was going into this movie not really expecting a whole lot. The whole time before the movie began, me and Chris were sitting there and
we're like, please let it be good.
Yeah.
Please let it be good. And then when a movie makes me think like that, and I really thought I had the movie nailed down, what was going on in it. And
right.
It just, like I said, it's a tug of war. It pulls you.
It was great. It was great. So I would give it a total of probably about 7.5, maybe 8 popcorns.
Yeah, I would go with a solid 7 sodas out of 10. Because, like I said, it was kind of slow paced in parts, and it was just to fill the runtime,
right,
for the most part.
Right. It's one of those kind of movies that you really have to digest.
It is,
and that's one of the reasons why we went and saw it earlier. Is so that, and I'm glad we did see it earlier, because you just you got to chew on it for a little while. You got to digest it. You got to think about it for a little bit, because it's really just one of those real meaty kind of movies.
It'll be one I'll have to go back and watch again to really look for the things that I missed.
Right.
It's in that same vein, like I said, with Moon. Another one would be like Sixth Sense, somewhere in there. Even though even though Sixth Sense is a different category than this movie, but it was still a thinking movie.
Right. Right. So I would give it a total of 7.5, maybe 8 popcorns. You give it a total of 7 sodas, solid.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, folks, it was really just that good, and you need to go and see this movie. It is definitely worth the cash. Definitely worth it. And if you really like it, add it to your collection, your Blu-ray or DVD collection. It's really that good.
It is. All right, remember to like, share, subscribe. Remember to hit the bell for notifications for when our next videos drop. And thank you. Please comment.
Yes, please do. And tell your friends and family about us. Spread the word. Get the word out there for us. And hey, thank you for joining us tonight. Enjoy your movie.